Hey everybody, Mr. here, and today we're taking a look at all the outcomes for the Whispering Wishing Well that came with the Romantic Garden stuff. Of course, they added a few more options to kill your Sims, which is kind of gruesome, but it looks kind of cool, so we're gonna take a look at that. And of course, all the other wishes, like wishing for children or love life or something like that. So yeah, make sure to keep on watching for all the outcomes. The Wishing Well, of course, has moods, as all of you probably already know. The happy face increases the chance on positive and very positive outcomes. And then you have the neutral face, which is kind of equal for every single outcome that you have. And then you have the mean, mischievous face, kind of creepy. He increases negative and very negative outcomes. And you have the Grim Reaper face, which increases the outcome of deadly outcomes for your Sims, so that you can kill them. First up is the wish for happiness. When your Sim gets a very positive outcome, she'll receive a 24-hour moodlet that increases all the other happy moodlets that she has. If your Sim gets a positive outcome for this wish, she will get a 24-hour moodlet that makes her happy. And this one doesn't increase any of the other moodlets that she might have. When your Sim gets a neutral outcome for this wish, she will also get a 24-hour moodlet that makes her happy, but this time it will disappear after 24 hours and make her sad for a couple of hours. If your Sim gets a negative outcome for this wish, it will receive an angry moodlet that lasts 4 hours, and in that duration, nearby Sims around your Sim will get a +1 happiness moodlet, which is kind of rude, but that's how it works. And then when they get a very negative outcome, it actually is the same, but then instead of an angry moodlet, they will receive a sad moodlet, and they are leaking happiness to other Sims around them, which is kind of sad to think about, but that's how it works. Then for the deadly outcome for this wish, it's not directly deadly, if that makes sense, but your Sim will get hysterical, which means that everything that makes them laugh will kill them. So if you're mean like me, you will just make them laugh in a mirror or tell them a joke, and then you can kill them off on the bathroom floor, waiting for the Grim Reaper to pick them up. So yeah, that's kind of mean, but in a way it's kind of a funny way to die if you think about it. Teen Sims or older can now wish for romance. When you get a very positive outcome, there will be a random Sim spawning of the preference of your Sim, so it can also be the same gender, and they have a soulmate and boyfriend relationship with the current Sim that you're playing. As a positive outcome for this wish, your Sim will get 100% successful at their next pickup line that they're going to use. This will last for another 4 hours. As a neutral outcome for this wish, your Sim will receive a 4-hour moodlet that makes them flirty, so it makes it a bit easier for you to find a lover for your Sim, but that's it. It doesn't do anything special. Further, as a negative outcome, your Sim will get a sad moodlet that also lasts 4 hours, and in these 4 hours, your Sim will fail at every single romantic thing they are trying to do with other Sims, so don't flirt with anyone during that time. As a very negative outcome, this wish has a kind of rare thing happening in the game. There will be a Sim popping up, and your Sim will be romantically involved with them, but also are enemies with them. So enemies with benefits is the new relationship for them. And then as a deadly outcome, your Sim will receive a boyfriend, actually this time, boyfriend and girlfriend, and their sweethearts relationship, but the only downside to this is that the Sim is a ghost, which is also kind of rare, but you know, not that special. When wishing for simoleons, your Sim can actually win the lottery if it's a very positive outcome for your sim, and it will grant you 10,000 simoleons or more. And then when your sim gets a positive outcome, it will be around 1,000 or more. I think around 5,000 is the maximum for it, but I'm not sure about that. And then when your sim gets a neutral outcome, it's kind of rude, but your sim will start to laugh manically, and they discovered a dark secret about another sim, and you basically get a new interaction that make them bribe the other sim. As a negative outcome for this wish, your sim will get a 4-hour debuff that makes them sad and lose more money to the wishing well that they usually do if they make a wish. As a very negative outcome for this wish, your sim will receive a little bit of money, but then gets addicted to video games on her mobile phone, and you will lose everything plus some more simoleons, so you're getting in debt. The deadly outcome for this wish is kind of gruesome. First, your sim loses a large amount of money, and then she gets the chance to catch on fire. If you're kind of mean, like I can be towards my sim, you can let this go on for a while, and your sim actually will die of the fire that is caused by the wishing well, and everything will catch fire around her, and then suddenly the Grim Reaper is there to pick her up. So yeah. Teen sims or older with a job can get a promotion through the wishing well. They will get an instant promotion when they have a very positive outcome, and they get an 8-hour buff from this that makes them happy. If you have a positive outcome, your sim won't get promoted, but they will have an instant increase of their work performance, so the next time they're going to their job, they will get the promotion. If your sim gets a neutral outcome for this wish, your sim will get angry actually, because they aren't happy, but they do get a little bonus for their job, so next time you will earn more money. If your sim gets a negative outcome for this wish, they will receive lowered performance for their job and plus 2/10 4-hour moodlet that makes them unhappy, so you'll have to watch some tally or something to make them happy again. As a very negative outcome for this wish, your sim can get either fired or demoted depending on their level of the career. Mine was level 1, so she got fired instantly. And then as a deadly outcome, your sim also gets fired, but this time she gets kind of upset and they can become enraged, which also can make them die, basically, of a heart attack. So watch out for that. When wishing for a skill, your sim instantly gains 10 points when they have an overwhelmingly positive outcome, and they get a confident boost for another 4 hours. And then when your sim get a positive outcome, they get a +2 skill gain in a random skill as well, so you don't even have to know it, and of course the confident moodlet. When it's a neutral outcome, your sim will get an increased skill build of 4 hours, which means they gain skills faster for the next 4 hours, and it's also a confident moodlet. If it's a negative outcome, your sim will get the opposite. They will have a decreased skill build for another 4 hours, and they get sad for those 4 hours, and they gain skills slower. When it's a very negative outcome, your sim won't be able to gain any skill at all because they get dazed and silly and they look funny. They get a 4-hour moodlet that makes them dazed. Yeah, well, it basically makes them unable to do anything at all. But yeah, then moving on to the deadly outcome for this wish is that your sim will be mortified, and they get a 4-hour moodlet that makes them really embarrassed, so you can kill them off by embarrassment. When wishing for youthful vigor, your sim will get reset to their current life stage if they get the very positive outcome. If it's a positive outcome, they will have a few days added to their current life stage. And both of these get energized moodlet. And just like the neutral outcome, your sim will get energized of all three of these outcomes. If your sim gets a negative outcome for this wish, they will first look fine. They get energized moodlet that lasts 4 hours, but afterwards they get a dazed moodlet that lasts 4 hours. If it's a very negative outcome, your sim will instantly age up to the next life stage, and they won't have a birthday, they won't have anything, and that makes them sad for another 4 hours. And it's kind of sad, everyone deserves a cake. If it's a deadly outcome, I guess you can guess which one this is. Your sim instantly dies, and they become a ghost, which is pretty cool because they will be instantly added to the family, but they receive a 4-hour moodlet that makes them sad. Ghost sims can make a wish for their life to the wishing well, and it makes them unable to die again for another 4 hours. They can die a natural death, but not an unnatural death, so they can die from lather or something like that. And when you get one of the positive outcomes, you can get Ambryosa in your inventory, and it makes you happy for another 4 hours. Or another positive outcome is that you get one of the ingredients like angelfish, death flower, or the potion of youth, and they get inspired by this. When your sim gets a neutral outcome for this wish, they get sad for 4 hours because their wish isn't granted. And it's kind of sad if you think about it. But yeah, 4 hours and the well gets on cooldown. As a negative outcome, you can get basically resurrected, or it looks like it, but then your sim just dies again. So basically nothing happens. So this makes them sad for 4 hours because they're just a ghost and they want to be mortal again. But yeah, let's see. Then we have the very negative outcome, which isn't actually negative if you ask me. They just accept their fate as a ghost and they become happy for 4 hours, but the well gets on cooldown. And as a death outcome for the ghost sim, nothing happens. No moodlet, no anything. They are just ghosts. When wishing for children, you can get a few types of children, if that makes sense. First up, when you get a very positive outcome, you get 4 hours of joy, and your kid is most likely a genius. Then when you get a positive outcome, your adoption fees are gone, so no 1,000 simoleons for an adoption. And then when you get a neutral outcome, your sim will get instantly flirty, and the next try for a baby is a success, so they get pregnant instantly. Then when you get a negative outcome, your sim becomes infertile for 4 hours, so it's temporary, but still kind of sad, and they get embarrassed by it. When it's a very negative outcome, your sim does get a child. Only downside to this is that they do get angry, and the angry moodlet lasts for 4 hours, and it's because their child is evil. They're not nice. And then as a deadly outcome, they do get a child as well, but it makes them sad. And it is kind of sad because they get a ghost child of any random personality they have, but they have died from laughter. Children and teen sim can wish for better grades. If it's an overwhelmingly positive outcome, they get an increased grade by 1. And if it's a positive outcome. Their school performance is maxed, so the next day when they get into school, their grades will most likely be increased as well, just like the other one. And then when it's a neutral outcome, they get actually kind of grumpy because they wanted more, and they get an angry moodlet for 4 hours, and their daily task is done for 50%. When it's a negative outcome, your sim will get a lowered performance for school, which makes them tense, and they get a moodlet for 4 hours, which makes them kind of grumpy. So you might want to have them watch some telly or something. And then when it's a very negative outcome, they will get a decreased grade by 1, and they get embarrassed by this, so embarrassed moodlet for 4 hours. And there's no death outcome for this wish, so I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe for more videos. And I can talk today, and it's a very long video and lots of talking, and I'm still sick and stuff, but yeah. I hope you liked the video. Leave a comment below if you did, and make sure to share and subscribe and stuff, and hopefully see you guys next time. Bye!